What's up, everybody? Well, before I get this video started, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, or whatever side of the coin you are on the holidays. Hope you had a good one. But today I'm back to bring another member of my vacuum collection that I have neglected to show. Right here, I present to you my Filter Queen model D31x. This is one of the many much older models of the Filter Queen, back when they had the brown color scheme, before they were named the Majestic. This is one of the way earlier models, back when they actually used to make these in Chicago. Very interesting fact, these things were made in Chicago back then. And this thing came to me looking just like this. Unfortunately, the only thing that was wrong with it is the power brush. The motor actually gave up after so many years, so I actually had to replace that. So now it's back up and running, and now I thought I'd go ahead and show you what this thing is. So basically, for those of you who've never heard of a Filter Queen, this was actually the first vacuum of its kind to feature cyclonic technology. Basically, it's a bagless system with a singular cyclone inside this main bin right here that spins the dirt around, pretty similar to what modern bagless uprights are doing, only it's taken way to the next level. But let me go ahead and pull the motor unit to show what exactly it's like for one of these. So, pull this guy off. You have this gigantic coffee filter that's masquerading as the actual filter for the vacuum itself, which honestly, weirdly enough, for the name Filter Queen, the filtration, even though it was good back in its day, is now a tad bit outdated. So, and unfortunately, I've never been able to find any HEPA conical filters for this, so this is all you can get. Just, it's best to buy genuine filters, because more likely than not, those have better filtration. But anyone who I could find good filtration filters for this thing, just let me know. That's just how the bin's set up. It's picked up a lot of dust. This thing performs actually very well for what it is. It honestly was much better than other vacuums at the time. But anyways, you see the way the bin's set up. Basically all the dirt that comes in, and then there's this sharp left curve. So basically as the dirt comes in, it spins around in the inside of the bin, which that's basically the first version of cyclonic technology. And this was the first vacuum to offer it. And pretty much that has, cyclonic technology has taken the vacuum world by storm years after this came out. So this was just an amazing design for its day. So let's go ahead and set the motor unit back on. Make sure the filter is on straight. And you go ahead and latch it down on each side, pretty similar to like what a Rainbow does, how they latch the motor unit down. So anyway, right here is the little connector for the power brush. And here's your motor speed switch. There's for low speed, and that's high speed. And here's the way your hose connects. It's a twist connect. So basically you just pull it like that and it pops off like so. And as long as you line up the tabs, there's actually 3 on the connector. So you just pull that in and slide it to the right and it's locked in place. Right up here is your little attachment caddy. I have the upholstery brush. This is a generic replacement. the dusting brush, which, believe it or not, I've actually had in my closet for many years, ever since it was at my grandparents' house, which I'm not too sure what it was doing there, because the only other vacuum they've had back then was a Rainbow. And I honestly thought this went to the Rainbow, but when I looked real hard, it said Filter Queen. And I thought, did they have a Filter Queen once before? Who knows, but that thing was probably long gone, because the oldest vacuum I remember them having was an old vintage 70s Sears Kenmore. And here's your dusting brush. This particular vacuum didn't come with any attachments, so I just threw on the dusting brush I had laying around my Rainbow parts. And then the upholstery tool and the crevice tool I bought separate. I did buy a bare floor tool, which I unfortunately do not have right now for this video, which it would actually have mounted somewhere right here, but as you can see, this little mount right here is kind of broken off, which I'm not sure what would sit there. It could be the bare floor tool that sits right there, but I have nearly all of its attachments for it. And so as you can see right up here, as you twist this guy around, this right here is somewhat of a post motor filter. Basically, you just twist that, and then this will slide out. And there's your post filter. Even though this is 1980s technology, I do have to give it a break, because even though it's not good on filtration today, I imagine it was excellent in filtration back then. So anyway, there's the little exhaust port, which, interestingly enough, for high-end vacuums, they had this thing where, oops, the power brush just knocked over, but basically you could just hook this on the end and use it as a blower, which seems to be a weird quirk with high-end vacuums. My Electrolux uses it, my Rainbow uses it. So now let's go ahead and put this little cap back on. I'm lining it up right. All right, there we go. And then it locks. Let me go ahead and stand this guy back up. So anyway, this right here is the hose that came with it. It's in very nice condition. I don't know whether or not this is the original hose. It looks to be a generic replacement. But as you can see, the electrical cord for the power brush runs through the hose. It comes right out here. It gets connected right up there. Then you have the external wire for the power brush that runs up here. And you also have another connector down below where it connects right to the power brush. Also, you do have this little disconnect right here. You just press this section right here, and if you want, you could slide this out and use all your attachments. But first, you gotta make sure this part's disconnected. If you're not using it, you could just tuck the wire down here, and when you're ready to use the power brush, just simply connect it up top like so, and plug back in your connector, and then you're good to go. Take a look at the power brush real quick. This is the Model 31, 33, Model 88 style power brush. There's the bottom side. Uses a chevron brush roll. The bristles are very soft and dense. And you can see everything funnels to the center suction path, which this thing cleans excellent, I will say. And I do think this is a very good quality power brush. It's got a metal bottom plate. Let's go ahead and show you the model number to this guy. Model number B88. The serial number right there. 1.6 amps for the brush roll motor. I want to say the suction motor draws somewhere between like at least 8 amps, I want to say, because not too many vacuums back then drew that much electricity back then. So basically, by Healthmore Incorporated in Chicago, there's living proof that this vacuum's old enough to be made in Chicago. And also, you will notice on the back here is your carpet height adjustment. And as you can see, when you turn that, it adjusts the front wheels. I like to leave it right in the low to mid pile setting for the pile of this carpet. You also do have a little circuit breaker right here. In case you get something jammed in the brush roll, it'll shut it off to save the motor life. Which, one way to tell that the brush roll motor in this went bad is that breaker kept tripping. So I wound up replacing the motor inside for the brush roll, and that problem went away. Also replaced the headlight while I was there. And so let's go ahead and release the power cord to this thing. I find it best to pull out the crevice tool, and you unhook it from there. Then you unravel it. Unfortunately, this was before the days when a cord reel was even thought of. Well, actually, then again, they were out back then, so I do not know why Filter Queen never offered an automatic cord reel for their vacuums. So, but anyway, that's how it releases. You can see it's right in there. Cord's not very long, but then again, not too many canister cords really are. The hose kind of will make up for that loss of cord length. So this is the original cord end. You can plug it right in. And right up here is your power switch. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on and show you how quiet the motor runs. That's how it sounds on high speed. Let's go and switch it to low speed. Now back to high speed. Very nice sounding motor. See, this vacuum was mostly well taken care of. I will tell you that, even though the brush roll motor quit. But that it did it mostly because of old age. And this right here is the wheel caddy down here. It is removable. Even though it doesn't come off very easy, it kind of does it better when you unlatch it from the bottom. See, just like so. Very similar to what a rainbow does. So let's go ahead and set this guy back on its wheel caddy and unlatch this side down. And now we'll go ahead and give this thing a quick test run for you guys, so you guys can see just how good this runs. And I'm sure by now you were probably waiting impatiently for that part of the video. So let's go ahead and get started. This thing runs very nice and smooth. It's very quiet, I will say. And one thing I do like about it compared to its competition is you don't have to do a lot of setup and tear down and wipe down that you would of a rainbow, because as we all know, rainbows use water as a filter. So it takes a while just to fill the bin up with water just to use the thing. And then you have to rinse it out, wipe it out, let it dry before you set on the motor unit. But before I end the video, let's go ahead and demonstrate this in tool mode. Let's go ahead and turn it back on. That's just how strong the suction is. This thing is pretty powerful, I will say. Just make sure you have your cord out of the way right here. You can hook it right there so you don't have to worry about it. Which I honestly wish it disconnected right here. That way you could just set it off to the side and you don't have to worry about this kind of getting in the way when you're using your tools. But here's your upholstery tool. You see, it just snaps in like that. And you see, when you're done, you just pull it straight out. And then here's your dusting brush. To set you guys down to get this guy out. Some of these attachments have a very, very tight fit. And lastly, here's your crevice tool. As you can see, the motor exhausts from anywhere up here. So let me go ahead and set that back in and then show you the final feature, which I think is kind of interesting, especially for a lot of high-end vacuums that they do this. Basically just disconnect it, connect it on the top, twist to lock, and then got you a blower. Now the rattling noise you're hearing on this is just the dirt spinning inside the bin. Unhook this. Let's go ahead and reattach the post filter. Alright, let's go ahead and reconnect everything. Let's go ahead and put this back on the power brush and connect. And there you have it. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this full video on the Filter Queen model D31x. Be sure and stay tuned, and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.